Hello all, welcome back to the tutorials on MicroPython. So we have talked about different options of communicating to the ESP8266 board using the RIPL in the previous videos. In this video we will see how to configure the ESP8266 as a web server using the MicroPython code. So the first thing, basically for a beginner, one has to understand what is a web server. So before going into details of web server, we are all aware of Google, right? So if you want to search something, we will type www.google.com from our computer, and when you type this address, the particular HTML page of this www.google.com, whatever the search page comes, would be stored on a remote web server which is owned by Google, and the request is placed to the server, and the server responds to the request. So the Google server, which holds the HTML page, acts as a web server which delivers the HTML pages. So that is how a communication happens. Similarly, we can configure our ESP8266 as a web server. So when we say what web server, what we will do is basically we will write a small HTML page, and once a request is placed to the ESP8266, this HTML content that we have written would be responded by the ESP8266 to the laptop or whatever you use. So that is how we have to understand the web server. Now in this scenario, the laptop and the ESP8266 communicate using the TCP/IP protocol. So in TCP/IP protocol, if some has one understanding of it, they communicate based on the socket programming. Socket programming is nothing but the end point of a particular network device or a device in a network where it helps to communicate with the other devices on the network. So what is the purpose of this socket is basically this socket assigns the IP address and a port number to a particular device, which in turn helps the other devices to identify this particular socket and bind to it. We call it connect to it. So the IP address and port number are bind to the particular socket, and the remote device connects to this socket using the IP address and the port. Then we say that they are connected. Basically here, as we are saying TCP/IP, the communication happens over the internet protocols. Right now we are doing it in a local area connection. Means we use a private IP address like 192.168 and communicate between the devices. So this is what we are going to do. We are all aware, right? The other internet protocols like email. For email we use SMTP. For the web we use HTTP. So here we use HTTP to deliver the HTML page. So let us understand further using the Thonny IDE. So what you see basically here is a Thonny IDE, which we have discussed in the previous tutorial. The below one is the shell prompt and the top one is the editor. So here this Thonny IDE, one of the advantage of Thonny IDE is that it helps us to communicate with the ESP module. Like example, if you say file and open, so here you can see here where to open from. From editor, you need some files to edit, right? Whether it could be from your local computer or it could be from a MicroPython devices. So right now we have connected the MicroPython, and you can see here ESP module with the ESP8266 has been detected in the shell prompt. So when we click MicroPython device, you can see the set of files in the MicroPython device. So now we have a main file, print file, WebREPL config is required, which we did in the previous files, and these are all the files that we have tried to read and write using the MicroPython in the previous videos. So these are set of files which you see here. So basically this helps us to communicate with the MicroPython device. Now if you want to write to a MicroPython, so we have right now boot file and the main file. So what is the difference between boot file and the main file is that when you try to communicate with the ESP8266 or when you power on the ESP8266, the first file which runs is the boot file. So the configuration of all the ESP8266 relevant modules happens in the boot file, and then the main file will have something like our while, which we see in normal embedded programming, which will have a continuous loop and runs for the things and searches for the connectivity in case of web server, what we are talking here, or any other events to happen. So now you can see here the definition and all. So we will keep this aside. Now here these are the two files. So if you see here, boot.py is not enclosed with the square brackets, whereas main.py is enclosed with the square brackets. So what it means, main.py is the file that we have directly opened from the MicroPython from the ESP8266 board. So the square brackets at the end indicates that this is a file directly opened, whereas when there are no square brackets, this is a local file from your computer. So that's what distinguishes the local file and the MicroPython file. Now if you want to load a file, example, now we have selected main.py, right? You have to click on save copy and select the MicroPython device, and you want to write main.py, right? You just double click it or type a name below. When I say double click, it asks, do you want to overwrite? So it just tries to overwrite the MicroPython file. So that's how you can write to a MicroPython device or ESP8266 board using the Thonny IDE. Now there is one more option in Thonny IDE called stop restart backend. So when you click this, the board just the Thonny IDE just starts to restarts it IDE and tries to communicate over the port which the board is connected. So this is how we use the Thonny IDE. Now here while we are talking about the web server communication, so basically the boot.py has the configuration which configures the ESP8266 as a station and connects to the local Wi-Fi network. So once it gets connected to the local Wi-Fi network, we are going to print the IP address of this particular ESP module, so that we will get to know what is the IP address. And then there is the main.py file, if you see, has basically the HTML page, a function called web page, which calls for the HTML page with the GPIO state, and it binds IP address, and it binds the IP address and the socket number, and it tries to listen continuously over its port to see if there is any connection that is being requested. And once the request happens, it accepts the request and it sends the data using the HTML. HTTP. So this is a simple structure. We will talk in detail about this. We have used a sample program to just explain how a web server functions. So now once this is done, we are sure that the boot.py is programmed, main.py is programmed, and now if you want to run individual files, you can just run the current script, select the one and current script. Now We can also do a simple soft reboot here. Once we do a reboot, you can see here a soft reboot is done and connection is successful. When it says connection is successful, that means the ESP8266 is a device is connected to the network, and this is the web IP address of that particular device. Now if you go to command prompt and say ping 192.168.1.6, you can see here you have got a reply from that web server. See, you are getting a continuous reply, and there might be some network issues, so there is a definitely 50% loss, but you can see that the device is present in that IP address. So this is how we can check if the ESP module is available or not. Now that it has pinged, if you go to the your IP address, your Chrome or whatever the application you use, you can just go there and type your IP address 192.168.1.6 and you see the ESP web server this way. So right now, as we say, we just took a example code from the net and just try to run and showcase, so we can monitor this. Here what we are basically doing is the GPIO state is being monitored. Now when we say on, right now this functionality is not complete. When we say on here, the LED will get on and GPIO state will be turned to on. So this is how it functions. A simple web server functionality where this page, if you see here, is hosted on the ESP8266 device, and we receive the information, we receive the HTTP page from there once we type the IP address of that particular ESP8266. So this is a simple functionality, easy to understand, and we have found Thorny IDE has been useful in this scenario. While it has its own disadvantages, it is helpful to load or to bring out the files that are flashed to the ESP8266 device. Thank you. If you have any questions, please post. We will reply back to you.